Can you even believe this? I was lucky enough finally out walking out and about to find the Arizona, that's Arizona with two Z's, Rizzler Berry Flavor. And there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the Rizzler himself, hitting his little pose on the can there. There you see ARIZZONA with the double Z for our man, the Rizzler. Got some berries on the bottom there. I have been trying to find this drink out in the wild for as long as it's been out, and I have had no luck whatsoever. But finally, on a random day, and this always happens, when you least expect the blessing, there the blessing comes to rain down upon you. And here it is. So, this is, we're going to walk you through the can a little bit. There's the Rizzler. There's Arizona, original Arizona Rizzler Berry. There's the man. It's made with real juice. As you can see up here, it says that all around the top perimeter of the can there. There's the top, actual top of the can. You can see here's the nutrition facts on the side. I'll read those out to you. It contains 5% juice. There's approximately 2 servings per container. A lot of people get that mixed up with the Arizona drinks. They think you're supposed to, drink a whole one, which everyone does anyway. But really, technically, it's actually 2 servings per can. So you could split this with your homeboy if you so desire. Ingredients: filtered water, high fructose corn syrup. It's fructose syrup in parentheses. Pear juice concentrate, mango puree concentrate, fruit and vegetable juice in parentheses color. Natural flavors, kiwi juice concentrate, lemon juice concentrate, ascorbic acid, vitamin C, raspberry juice concentrate, some kind of gum, and ester gum. And this is manufactured for Arizona Beverages, USA LLC, copyright 2025 Beverage Marketing USA Incorporated. And then it says on the bottom of it, it's got a big sticker there that says no synthetic color, no artificial flavor. Now, here's what's interesting to me right off the bat, before I even crack open the drink to try it. What does this say? And we went through the whole can, pop quiz. What does this say? It says Rizzler Berry. Berry. But then reading out the ingredients just there, this is why we do this. The ingredients are, the ones that stick out are pear juice concentrate, mango puree concentrate, kiwi juice, lemon juice, blah, blah, blah. The only actual berry that I noticed listed in the ingredients at all was raspberry juice concentrate. So really, it's I don't know if any of these, I didn't see blueberries on the ingredients list. I didn't see strawberries on the ingredients list. Just raspberries. But, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this. I was so tripped up looking at the berries just now. Lightly carbonated, it says on the bottom. I had no idea this thing was lightly carbonated. That is awesome. I was ready to just crack this open and for it to be, standard Arizona, which the only carbonated Arizona flavors I think I have tried were the Ricky flavors back in the day. Not me, Ricky. The R-A-C-K-E-Y flavors. There was a cherry lime and I think a grape Ricky. And those were carbonated. They had kind of a cocktail taste to them. I had no idea what we were in for. This is awesome. I am 10 times more excited to try this drink now than I was before. That is outstanding. There's the barcode if you want to see that. But yeah, back to my point. It's a bit misleading that there's pictures of all these berries, but then in the actual ingredients, it's, pears, mangoes, kiwis, lemon juice, things like that, and raspberry being the sole berry. Watch out for the sugar in this bevy. It's got 104% of your daily recommended dose of sugar. It's 52 grams total. That's for the whole can. Half the can is 58% at 29 grams. The potassium, there's about 40 milligrams in a can. There's about 57 grams of carbohydrates, which is unexpected to me. 21% in a whole can, at least, of your daily recommended value for carbohydrates. Contains 5% juice. I forget if I said that or not. I think I'm just about ready to crack this thing open. I just noticed, too, that the Rizzler on his shirt has the Arizona-looking logo there. Very cool. I'm very excited to try this thing. And I'm noticing, too, oh my god, the more you look at this can, the more you find. Up here, it's got he's hitting his little pose up there. It's got a little emoji of him hitting his pose. So with all that being said, we are going to crack this thing open. I'm going to take a sip, and then we're gonna get into talking about the beverage here. Are you ready? Are you ready for the crisp little sound that's going to happen when I open this up? Because I'm ready. Wait, hold on. I want him to be facing it. Well, facing you while I open this. But then I have to put my hand a weird way. All right. Screw it. That's not happening. We're just opening it regular. Okay, I didn't really get the fizz I was hoping for out of it. But that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try a sip of the Arizona Rizzler Berry Flavor. Let's get it. I hope this winds up being the thumbnail. I think I don't have enough YouTube subscribers or clout yet to be able to pick my own thumbnail, so it kind of just picks one out of the video for you, but this would be a great one. So here's what's going to happen. I want to compare my initial thought about this beverage, which I have logged, to my thought when I finish the can. I want to drink the whole can and let you know what I think of it. And then at the end of the video, I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you my initial thought. I'll tell you what I think after finishing the whole can. I'll tell you what I think halfway through the can. And because I am a real YouTuber, what we're going to do is I am going to, in real time, I'm going to drink this whole can. I'm going to set it on the side here. I know you can't see it, but I promise it's just out of view of the camera. And while I sip on the can, I'm not going to, chug it. I'm going to sip on it and try to really enjoy it, spend some time with it, and get to know it. During which time, I'm going to turn my attention to my television, and I'm going to play Resident Evil, which I've just begun playing recently. I've never actually played any Resident Evil games before, and I was hearing so many good things and people being excited about the new game. I kind of wanted to get in on the craze. I was never really a Resident Evil kid, but I wanted to give it a shot. So I dug out my old Nintendo GameCube from the closet, and I picked up a cheap copy of the original Resident Evil game. Or I should say it's the remake of the original Resident Evil game, because the original game came out on the PS1. I think, in the mid-90s. I'm having a little bit of gas come up from the carbonation in the beverage there. And I didn't want to really get my hands on that one, and I did some digging around online, and a lot of people seem to say the best way, or one of the best ways to play the original game is the GameCube remake of Resident Evil 1. It has updated graphics, and kind of the atmosphere is retained from the original. I'm going to open up the windows while I talk to you. And that's always my concern with playing remakes of games, is that somewhere in the process of remastering and HD-ifying and whatever other stuff they do when they remake video games, that there might be some of the charm lost in the translation process. Because there is something really charming about an old game that sucks by today's standards. You know what I mean? And I want to get the fullest, whenever I play a game, an older game especially, I want to feel like it's 1900 whatever, or it's 2000 whatever, and I'm a kid playing Resident Evil for the first time again. Or not again in my case, actually, because I've never played it really to begin with. So, the GameCube remake of the original Resident Evil is what I am playing, and people online seem to say that this is a fine way to play. So, I'm going to go ahead and play the game for a little bit. And while I do that, I'm going to sip. There it is. I'm going to sip on my Rizzler Berry, and when I finish the beverage, I will let you know what I think of it. I'm going to have to touch my computer screen every so often here to make sure it doesn't go idle. Also, I'm at 32%. I don't know how long I'm going to be sitting here, so it might behoove me to grab a charger so I can charge my laptop while I do this. Alright, here I come. Don't panic. I'm coming back soon. Right, hear me banging and clanging around. That's me getting everything into place that I wish to get into place. And my wire doesn't quite reach. So what's going to have to happen is you, the viewer, are going to have to move maybe to here so you can be plugged in. The only downside is now I might have to rework the angle a little bit because I don't wish to have that ugly cardboard box in your view because you deserve better than that. So we're going to move that to over here. And I think now we're just about ready to lock in here. So I'm going to play some Resident Evil and sip on my Rizzler Berry. I wonder if there's a way I could position this. And I got it. I forgot my couch does this. Check this shit out. That's actually not really that great. I was hoping it would, be prominently in frame, but that's not that good. Some people might say in a YouTube video, all this clerical stuff, all the kind of logistic stuff should be figured out and worked out before you begin filming. I'm the real deal, baby. Big Ricky is 100%. I don't know. Real deal. Okay, I'm restarting Resident Evil. I had a save file going, but I'm restarting. Beyond the hardship lies accomplishment. No, I want the destination to be reached comfortably, so I'm going to go on hiking mode. I'm going to play as Jill. The reason I'm restarting is because I think I didn't realize when I was starting this game initially how really important, truly, the resource management is. I was shooting shotgun shells like nobody's business. And I'm realizing now that there's some actual difficult enemy types ahead of me that maybe those things need to be saved. Maybe those things need to be conserved a little more conservatively than I was conserving them. So we're starting all over a bit. And I'm having really, to be honest with you, I'm having a very mixed experience in my time playing this game so far. Because there is a part of me that absolutely loves this game so far. I love the atmosphere. I love the music. I love the sounds. I love the way playing the game makes me feel, which is really and truly unsettled and scared of like, oh my god, when I go through a door, what in the hell is going to be behind there? I like a lot of things that I feel like have the possibility to put other people off to this game, such as the fixed camera angles. I think that actually adds a lot. The limitation of kind of what you can see and not giving you that power to see from the perspective you wish to see is scary. It's unsettling. I don't mind the tank controls too much. They take a little bit to get used to, but once you get used to them and you kind of get a little smooth with them, they're really not so bad. So that's how I feel about that. Love so many things about this game. I really and truly do. However, where I begin to fall off a little bit, that's right, I talk to this guy, I go through that door. Where the game starts to lose me, and this is actually maybe the only place in which the game starts to lose me, but it's a big one. It's a big, tremendous one that is really ruining my experience in the short time that I've played this game so far. And that is the fact that you get a limited number of saves. There's a limited quantity of times in a given playthrough, not even just a play session or like a section or chapter. In spanning your whole playthrough, there is a limited amount of times that you can save your game. And that being the case makes it so much harder to enjoy for me. In order to save your game, you have to go to a typewriter, and I think there's 2 typewriters, at least that I've discovered, across the map. Maybe there's another 1 or 2 I'm not aware of. Better report back to Wesker. Okay. And I don't so much mind that. I don't mind having to go to a specific location to save the game. I think, if anything, it makes your having to save a little more thoughtful. You know, it's not like the kids today that are all spoiled because we have autosave and you never have to worry about saving your game ever because the freaking machine does it for you. No, okay, I am going to be done playing soon, so I have to go to this location and interact with this item in order to save the game. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that there are chests in which you have to store your inventory, and you have to go back and forth to say, okay, well, I'm going to go check this thing out. Do I want to have this thing with me? How much ammo am I going to bring? Don't mind that. Don't mind that you get a limited amount of kerosene and what have you. That's all fine. Better finish searching the hall. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind all that. Well and good. Fine. In order to save your game at the typewriter, however, you don't just go up to the typewriter and save the game. No, that's not how it works. In order to save the game, you have to bring with you to the typewriter an item called an ink ribbon. And in Resident Evil, there are a finite number of ink ribbons. Okay, they really want me to search the hall here. And you are not told at the start of the game how many ink ribbons there are to be found throughout the mansion where the majority of the game, or I would imagine even all the game, takes place. Okay, I got a lockpick. That's good, that's good. And I kind of understand a little bit the intent of this, which is in line with, I believe, what I was talking about before, which is making you consider your saves a little more thoughtfully. You know, at what point have I done enough to save the game to justify using up one of my limited save states to save the game? Not so bad. It's almost even, in a way, there are times where it's almost even sort of cool. And I mean that in the way that, say for example, I just spent 25 minutes playing the game and I didn't save. And then at the end of my 25 minutes, I find a thing. You know, I find, oh, here's the next door to go through. Here's the next item I need. I do it, and then I die. It might feel like I just wasted 25 minutes, but if you really think about it, I really spent 25 minutes exploring and looking around and trying stuff until I found the actual next thing I needed to do to progress. So once I die and I revert to my previous save state, well, I'll go straight there. I know the place to go, I'll just go straight to it, and not only that, but I also, in my brain now, I know, okay, wait a minute, so down that hall I went in my last save, even though I died. I went down that hall and it's got this thing, and I went down that hall and it didn't have that thing. So you kind of, it's not all wasted time. The potential is there. I'm going to move this a little closer for the angle. The potential is there for it to be really cool. However, I, unfortunately, am a 23-year-old man. Okay, I have responsibilities in my life, I have things to do, I have a finite amount of time to hang out and play video games. As much as I wish I had more, I do not. So here's one thing, if I want to play Resident Evil, I need to make sure I have like 3 or 4 hours to play. Because at the end of my play session, I'm probably going to want to save it. And if I only spent 35 to an hour and a half playing the game, 35 minutes to an hour and a half playing the game, chances are I haven't done enough to justify the save. To justify using the save. And you might say to yourself, why don't you just not save? Because you just kind of explained that you cannot save sometimes. Various art supplies. And as long as you kind of remember what you did, it's fine. But I don't have the brain capacity to play the game for, 2 hours, remember the 2 things I accomplished in that time, excuse me, and then return to the game months later, or weeks later, days later, whatever it is, and remember the couple things that I did. So the option becomes, okay, well, if you do something, maybe write it down. That way you could not save, and next time you remember to do it. I'm not going to remember. I'm just not. And it also is disheartening, say, if you choose not to save, and then you die, and then you did accomplish a lot, and then you have to kind of try to remember the sequence of things and when you did it. It really and truly is causing me a tremendous amount of distress when I play this game. It is causing me so much more distress than I wish to be experiencing when I'm doing something like playing a video game. That, for me, is something I want to do to relax a little bit and kind of hang out, And I understand that Resident Evil is a horror game about zombies and all that, and maybe it's not, that's my goal, to rest and hang out and chill playing a game. That a zombie game that is from a franchise that, from what I'm understanding, is known for its difficulty, is maybe not the best way to accomplish that goal. Maybe I ought to play freaking Frogger, Super Mario Brothers or something. Oh, come on, get this guy. Good. And you know what? I wouldn't even argue with you. Maybe I'm just looking for the wrong thing out of this game. But it is really, that's all I can say, is it's ruining my experience playing the game, having to worry about my save states in this way. I almost wish that I either knew how many save states I would get, so I could plan around it, or all I had to do to save was go to the typewriter, and there was not the mandate. Can he get out of there? No, I don't think he can get out of there. And there is not the mandate that I have this item, the ink ribbon. Either one of those would have been fine for me. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, it's 2026, as of the time I'm recording this. The game has been out for, a long time at this point. So it is probably public information to know how many saves there are in the game. You can probably pretty easily look up online how many ink ribbons are available in the mansion in Jill's version of the story. And I could probably find the answer without too much difficulty. True. However, you might remember earlier on I talked a little bit about how it is my goal to play not necessarily the most recent remake of an old game, not necessarily the most graphically beautiful version of a game, or the the most gameplay optimized version of a game. I want to play these games, or whatever games I happen to be playing, in a way that really is as true to the original release as possible, and as true to how I would have felt if I was a kid in 1995 or whenever this, the original Resident Evil came out, playing the game. And so that, unfortunately, means that it is also my desire to use as little outside resources as possible. I want to use the game and what the game teaches me and the manual to learn what I have to learn in order to play the game. And I think I should be able to do that without having to worry about how many saves I get. So no, I will not be looking up that information. Can I go this way? I can go that way. I'm not looking it up. I want the faithful original experience. And I guess you could say, well, yeah, man, but back in that day, in those days, you would have like a gaming magazine, or maybe even at this point in the early 2000s when this remake came out, there would have been a website, a rudimentary cheat code website I could have gone on and learned this information, or a strategy guide. I don't know if I'm sure Resident Evil had a strategy guide, actually. And I could have looked it up there. But I don't know. I want to play the game and have my own experience playing the game and learn what I learn mess up how I mess up, and experience the joys of victory when victory comes. When victories, plural, come, I should say, because there will be multiple. And that's what I want. So, you know what? Maybe I'm in a hole of my own making here. Maybe I'm an old man yelling at the clouds, but this is how I feel. This is what I've experienced playing this game, and that's what I'm reporting back to you. So as of now, I think I have to get that first key, which I believe is in the backyard, and then down that mysterious little crypt-looking thing in the backyard. So that's where I'm going. Let me know in the comments if you've ever played the GameCube remake of the original Resident Evil game, and if so, what you thought of it. Did you play the original PlayStation 1 Resident Evil? And what did you think of it in comparison to this one? No, that's correct. I need the arrowhead first. An arrowhead. So where do I get the arrowhead? That's right. I have to put the arrowhead in the little tomb-looking thing, and then I can take that downstairs. So my plan as of now, because I'm a big completionist, was to play through this one and then get Resident Evil 2 and 3 on the Sega Dreamcast. And then probably go back to GameCube for Resident Evil 4. And then just, continue playing the games from there in whatever order it so happens to be. In a similar way to how I'm playing through a bunch of the Pokemon games right now. And I'm a completionist with it, man. I want to start with Pokemon Red. And then after Pokemon Red, I want to get to... that's locked. And then boom. Okay, so I need the thing to get up there. I started with Red. Broken, original, barely works, held together by duct tape and a prayer. Pokemon Red. Played Crystal. And now I'm on the... what am I on now? I'm on the Kanto remake. Fire Red. I'm on Fire Red now. So that's what I wanted to do also with these Resident Evil games, too. But I gotta say, if they keep pissing me off the way that this one is pissing me off, I don't know if that's gonna happen. The only Resident Evils I own as of now are this one, the one I'm playing, that I've been talking about all video, and the one from, Resident Evil 0 on the GameCube also, I believe. Yeah, that one I just have. I think it might have been my older brother's or something from when I was a kid. But I still have it. I got it. Can I go this way? I can. Okay, so I'm going to go this way. I think the order of events that I have to do things is I have to go through the... in order to get through that crypt, I have to get the arrowhead, but I forget where the arrowhead is. But I know on the second floor somewhere here, there is a bunch of arrows. There's a room that I think has a bunch of arrows in it. There's some herbs here, but I'll leave the herbs for now. I'll come back for those maybe later. What's in my inventory now? Ink ribbon, handgun, ammunition, and a defense item. I'll defend... No, I'm actually not even going to equip the dagger at this time. I don't think. Because I just want to, for now, figure out where the that arrowhead is. And if I die, I die. I haven't really done much. And that's okay. This guy's going to get up in a second, I think. Oh shit, there he is. Can I juke this guy is my question. I feel like I probably can't. Alright, so I'm going to leave. Oh shit, nope. I'm going to leave. Come back in so he resets to his original positioning. And then try to... If I was a real YouTuber, I would be somehow screen capturing my screen right now. And showing you what I'm looking at so you know what I'm talking about. But, don't we all have wants and desires in the world? Alright, so I'm going to try to juke this guy. Or you know what, maybe I'm not. I'm a little scared. I'm going to go through this door, but this door I know leads upstairs to that little knights area where you get boxed in and killed if you try to take the key, and that's correct. So I'm leaving there. The arrowhead must be past that zombie. So maybe this one is one I do have to or want to kill. And you know what? I only have the handgun right now. So if I use the handgun to kill him, I feel like that's probably not the biggest deal. Because I remember in my last playthrough, I had so much handgun ammo. I had so much. I had like 70-something, and he's bleeding. Okay. I think he's still not permanently dead, because I need to kerosene him. I don't have access to that quite yet. I don't believe, at least. Here's what I was thinking all the arrows were, but I don't... There it is. Is that it? Will you take the golden arrow? Yes. From the status screen, examine an item. Yep, so I examine this golden arrow. Examine. I look at the head of the arrow. The arrowhead looks like it can be removed. Yes, arrowhead. The arrowhead is made from peridot, sometimes referred to as a poor man's emerald. Okay, so I have the arrowhead. Now I can go put the arrowhead in the thing. And be good to go. Here's some more handgun ammo on the floor, so what I just used was not a waste. Take the handgun ammo. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Is there anything else in here I'm forgetting that I could take while I have this guy dead? I unlocked this door. Let's go through this door. F it. We're going through all the doors. We're seeing what's going on here. Okay, I know where I am now. There's a thing. Is that a dagger? That's a dagger. I could take that. And that's another thing I want to be more stingy about in this new playthrough, similar to the ink... No, not the ink ribbons. The shotgun shells that I complained earlier. I used up all my shotgun shells. I want to be more conservative with the use of the defense items, because those also are, I have learned, hard to come by in this game. I really hope, it is really my hope, that in this playthrough, you know, I really realistically didn't get very far in the other playthrough. It wasn't like I had put, like, you know, 12 hours into the game and then I whatever, decided I had to start over. I had played the game for maybe like 5 hours total, 4 or 5 hours, which isn't nothing. But it's also, you know, I didn't lose too much time to the game. And my hope now is that I can take those lessons that I learned in that first attempt at playing through, and use them to have a better time this time. Because I really, 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 and I hope it's obvious from how much I hyped it up before, I really wish to enjoy playing this game. I have a feeling, because there's so much about this game that I love, you know? I love puzzles, I love escape rooms, I love trying to figure out what's next and where to go, I love trying to figure out what to do with this thing and how that thing pieces to that thing, and wait, I don't need this thing yet, but wait, did I go down that hall yet? There's so much about this game that I really, really love. And I want, terribly, desperately, to finish this game and to be able to say, wow, that was one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. Because I really do have a feeling that the potential for that to be true is there. You know, a book is fitted perfectly in the indentation. Will you take the Book of Curse? Like, this is awesome. There's so much to love about this game. And I want to feel that way. And I think that's why I'm giving it another shot. Examine the book, the key's on the back of the book, take the back of the book, remove the key, yes. Boom, now I got the mansion key. I got one of the mansion keys. Book of Curse opens. And what's in this book? I forget. Book of Curse. The 4 masks. A mask that speaks no evil, smells no evil, sees no evil. A mask that can do none of them. When all 4 fall into place, evil will awaken. I remember this the first time. This is a very escape room kind of little dungeon down here, because you get that book with those clues on it, and then on the opposite side of the dungeon, there are those masks. There's a mask with its mouth removed, there's a mask with Which one is this? With its nose gone. There's a mask with eyes, nose, and mouth gone. And then there's a mask, presumably this last one, with the eyes gone. So I don't know if I have any control over where those masks go, or maybe I'll eventually get something that, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the order of the masks is going to allude to something later, but that's a clue I have to keep in mind. I love this kind of stuff. So all that to say, I really hope I come away from this game ultimately feeling positively about it. And I'm willing to give it another chance in order to pursue that wish. Because there are a lot of games, I'm telling you, I'll give up on a game. If I don't like a game, if I'm not having fun, and I've put a couple hours into playing it and I'm still not enjoying it, alright man, you know, I tried. I think that's happening right now with the game on the PS2 that I've been messing around with a little bit. It's called, what is it? Frogger: The Great Quest. I'm a big Frogger fan. I actually got into Frogger, the original Frogger, when I was a teenager. I had my Xbox 360, and I was just kind of browsing around the marketplace for something to spend my leftover Microsoft points, as they were called at the time. Maybe they still are, I don't know. On. And I came across that. You know, I came across Frogger, and I think, man, I've seen that game, or I've heard of that game. And so I bought it, and I tried it. And I had such a great time. I played it for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I sat there playing Frogger, and I realized, wow, old games rock. And so I recently purchased the PS2 Frogger game, Frogger: The Great Quest, not really knowing that it was nothing at all like the original Frogger. In Frogger: A Great Quest on the PS2, Frogger is an adolescent boy from a swamp, and he wears clothes and yearns for adventure and to escape his little swamp, you know, or to have this epic life, go on this grand adventure. And then I guess he does it, and that's what it is. And it's weird, and it's like this weird platformer that I wasn't enjoying playing. And so I said, all right, I don't think I'm playing that anymore. I don't think I'm playing anymore Frogger: The Great Quest. And so I just gave up on it. You know, it's not my style. It's not my thing. It's not it's not how I wish to spend my time gaming. So all that to say, you know, if I'm not having fun playing a game, it gets the boot. But I feel the need, for one reason or another, to give Resident Evil another shot. And so that's what I'm doing here. I feel called to it. The first week I was playing this game, you know, earlier on in that other save file, it was a good, like, week and a half long period where all I could think about was Resident Evil. I'd be at work thinking about Resident Evil. I'd be hanging out with my friends thinking about Resident Evil. I'd be in the middle of a wrestling match putting the hurt on my opponent, and I'd be thinking about Resident Evil. It was just all Resident Evil all the time. Locked. There's nothing over here, I think, right? Yeah, not really. All that to say, this game really does, it seeps its way into your mind, and I feel compelled to continue trying it and to not give up quite so soon on Resident Evil. So we're making our way through the early portions of the game here. I've obtained the arrow. I have gone down the crypt after inserting the arrow into the little keyhole. Now that I have that key... Actually, isn't there a thing over here? Is there a little area here? No, it's not here. What I want to figure out now, maybe, is where to get access, because I don't remember offhand, to the storage areas. Because right now I have shotgun shells, but no shotgun, so I want to store those. I want to store the ink ribbons, because there's really no reason to have those on your person. Because when you go back to use the typewriter, it's typically not too far from a storage unit anyway. So you might as well just go back there, get the ink ribbon out of the storage unit, and then save the game. and then when you restart the next game, put them right back in. It's making some decent progress here. Okay, maybe I can go somewhere over here now, because I have the key. One of the mansion keys. I believe there's 4 mansion keys. There's the armor, sword, shield, helmet. Is that right? Or maybe there's only 3. I don't remember offhand. But I think I can now go this way. I've obtained the map. I've trapped that zombie in the little room. So I could probably now go this way. You use the mansion key. Great. Great. I'm excited also to learn a little more about the story. The overarching story of the franchise, and also of this game in particular. I know that there's a guy, Wesker, who's in this one, that unfortunately I know is going to become a bad guy in some form or fashion. I know there's something called the Umbrella Corporation, which I assume is a big bad corporation that is somehow responsible for everything that's happening. Jesus Christ. There are some good scares in this game. That was a real Jesus Christ I just let out because a window broke. I know there are some other fan favorite characters and what have you that are going to be introduced in the near future. I don't necessarily, I think I've heard they don't maybe all connect in, like they're not direct sequels to each other. I don't think. Maybe there's a lot of overlap in lore or whatever, but I don't know. Take the dagger. Yes, I will take the dagger. Yeah, so I think I go down this hall. I can eventually get the shotgun from this direction. And then shortly after that, probably, I get access to the... can I not push this? I get access to the area where I can save. Not save, where I can store my items, I should say. Let me push this thing. Maybe there's something under here. Come on, get on the other side. What the hell is she doing? No. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. Get this thing. This is more handgun shells, I believe. Handgun magazine, excuse me. Excuse my lack of knowledge. Excuse my ignorance. This one is also open. I also remember, however, there was a room where I could get a broken shotgun before I got the regular one. And I remember when I got the regular shotgun, it set off some kind of trap. So I wonder if I can get the broken shotgun and then replace it when I take the real shotgun. Replace it with the broken one. To prevent the trap from going off. I remember this room. Yep, this is the bathroom. And in the bathroom, there's the tub, which is... I take the thing out of the thing, and then it triggers a cutscene, which I'm going to skip. I don't even need to see it. I saw that cutscene, I think, 3 times already. She goes to the bathroom to puke. There's the dead guy. Get the dagger. Yes. So wasn't there something else in there, too, in this toilet? In this bathtub, rather? Or is it really just the knife? Maybe it's just the knife. Oh, no, this is a survival knife. I think I picked up. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But whatever was in the tub that I had to get, I got. I think that's all that was in this bathroom, if I'm correct. So I'm going to head out of the bathroom here. I remember there's a freaking moment where I think a dog jumps through the window and you have to apprehend them. I really don't like the dogs. The dogs really piss me off. That's the door I just came out of. I can go this way now. The dogs are so difficult. For me, at least, I had a very hard time with the dogs. Can I go through here? I think this is the shotgun trap room. This is the shotgun trap room. I'm not going to even go in there yet, because I want to see if I can get that broken shotgun before I get the regular one. Let's see if my little idea is one that works. Here's some double doors. I think through these double doors is where we get access to... Yep, this is it. This is where I can go to get underneath the stairs and use the trunk. Right? Yep. I think there's a... Oh, no, he's here. There's a zombie there. Okay. Should I kill him? Yes, I'm going to kill him. Nope, don't. Hold on. Okay, I'm exiting the room. I'm exiting the room, and then I'm going to come back in and kill him. The doorknob looks like it's ready to fall apart. Go through anyway. Yes, and I know what that is, because that doorknob, when you use it a couple times, becomes bad from the other side, and the zombie can just push through it. But that's not going to matter, because I'm going to go out of the room, equip my handgun, let him reset to his original position, go back in there, and then basically kill him. Is there a freaking another one approaching me now, or is that from the other side of the door? Okay, I think it's from the other side of the door. Okay, so I can go in here. So what are my thoughts on the Arizona Rizzler Berry flavor? Well, I have to say, disappointingly as it is to say, this is really not a good drink at all. This was pretty horrible, actually. If you noticed, at a certain point in the video, I was reading the bottom of the can because I wanted to check if it was expired, because it's that bad. And it's not. It looks like it's May 2028 it expires, so it's still got a solid 2 years to go. When I was drinking this drink, when I first cracked it open, when they say lightly carbonated, they mean lightly. And it's not lightly carbonated like maybe a Celsius would be. It almost tastes like a soda that's gone flat. You know, if you've ever had if you ever gone to, say, a fast food restaurant and got a plastic cup with one of the plastic lids, put the straw through, you only finish half the soda, put it in the fridge for later, and the soda kind of goes flat. That's what this tasted like. You know, the flavor was even flat. It didn't taste very fruity or very sweet, like you might be led to believe by all the pictures of the berries and by kind of the bright checkerboard colored background and stuff. Really, it was terribly disappointing. And I hate to say that. When I first sipped the beverage, if you remember, I said I was going to make note of my initial thought and then compare it. And my initial thought is exactly the same as my thought now. It is flat. The taste is flat. That's the best comparison I could make, is it tastes like soda that's gone bad. Or that's gone flat. I had such high hopes for this thing. And I did buy it a few days ago. And I had it in my backpack for probably about 8 hours as I was going throughout the day, during which time it probably got warmer than it was. Not hot or anything, and then I put it in the fridge upon my return home, and then now it's probably about a week later and I'm drinking it. I don't think that really matters all that much. I don't know. I'm just really let down. But here's what I will say. I will be keeping the can. It's a really cool designed can. I gotta represent my boy, the Rizzler, on there, and I'll put it... I'll proudly display it somewhere in my home. I'm not sure where quite as of now. But yeah, overall, if you were to ask me for a number score on this thing, it's not undrinkable. If you remember my video some time ago on Rocket Pop, or whatever the flavor of Ghost was, that was always bad for some reason. It's not like undrinkable like that one was. It doesn't have an unpleasant taste. It's not disgusting. But, man, it was just not that great at all. I don't know if I just got a bad can or something, but that's my experience with the beverage, was that it was really not that great. Yeah, I think that's all I got for you today. I have been big Slicky Ricky on the beat. And by the beat, I mean in this YouTube video. I will be wrestling sometime soon, probably. Check my Instagram and watch Go like my recent posts or whatever. Like and subscribe this video. Holy cow, that's what you got to say when you're a YouTuber. And to end things off, stay rizzy, I guess. And if you had a better time with this beverage than I did, please let me know. Tease up to represent my man Troy Tresden, and I'll see you next time, I guess. Bye.